Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to OLC TV with some more Warhammer Underworlds online. So, I've been playing far too much of this game in my free time. Not ideal, as I have a teething baby, which is eating up a lot of my sleep, but I have been playing as each of the 4 warbands, trying to get my head around how they best play, doing a lot of casual play and bot matches before I move into ranked play. And through doing all of this, I have come to really fall in love with Ironskull's boys. These 4 massive green mutated beauties have become sort of sons of mine, I guess is the best way to describe them. Very vicious, brutal, attacking, aggressive, bellowing, warg-loving sons of mine. And I thought I would go into a little bit of detail about how I use them to get the best out of them as I see it. And we do this through the edit deck function down here. So you will see here we have the 4 fighters: Gurzag Ironskull, the warband leader, Bonecutter, Hacker, and Basher. Now each of these fighters have the same 3 actions: move, guard, and attack. But you will notice one thing: they are 2 different attack symbols, the hammer and the swords. Now, a hammer is a heavy attack, the swords are a light attack. How this effectively plays out is that because of how the dice, the faces of the dice are, heavy attacks, if you include the inspiration face as well, basically have a 50% chance of hitting, whilst these have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting. So you're less likely to hit with Hacker and Basher than you are with Bonecutter and Gurzag, and that's because Gurzag's your boss, so he shows off, and Bonecutter's the number 2 heavy hitter, scary chap, so he has a better chance of hitting too. Now, orruks being orruks, they get better the more they are in fights, and if you're in fights you take hits. So you'll see here that all of the fighters in this warband are inspired after they suffer damage. Now, inspiration doesn't affect their movement, their defense dice, or their wounds. All of them have a wound of 3, 1 defense dice, and all but Gurzag have 4 wounds. Gurzag has 5. But it affects their attack because orruks like to fight. Now, Gurzag, in his case, he doesn't get extra damage, he sticks with his 3 damage, he sticks with his 2 dice to roll, and his range is the same, but he gets the chance to re-roll 1 dice. So if he misses, he gets another chance. Bonecutter, on the other hand, sees his damage increase, so he becomes as powerful as Gurzag when he hits, because he will also do 3 damage. Now, to put this into perspective, 3 damage will kill all but the Warden in the Sepulchral Guard warband. So the Undead warband, 3 damage will kill any one of their fighters, it just won't kill their boss with 1 hit. That's power, okay? Now, these chaps, on the other hand, only do 1 damage, so they don't do a huge amount no matter what you do. They do have a couple of extra things though that make them still useful. Hacker, when he rolls a crit, he has cleave. Cleave will go through armor, so even if they roll a defense dice, if you have a critical hit, you will do damage. Only 1 damage, but damage nonetheless. Basher, on the other hand, will do a knockback, so he will be able to knock people back by 1 hex if he rolls a crit. But again, they only do 1 damage, unless they're inspired, when their damage goes up to 2. Still not vastly impressive, but it will take out a Stormcast Eternal over 2 rounds, or a Petitioner from the Sepulchral Warband, who are the weakest of the weak. So they become considerably more useful when inspired, and the only way you get inspired is to throw yourself into a fight and take a punch. Next, we have objectives. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but they do sort of back up the idea that the orruks are all about fighting and not so much about holding objective 2 or 3. If we take, for example, biggest and the best. Score this in an end phase if your leader took out an enemy fighter. So you want Gurzag in fights. Gurzag hits for 3. When he's inspired, he rerolls. He has a higher chance to hit for 3. Any single fighter in this game, two rounds or 1 round where he can fight multiple times, he will kill them, and you will get glory for that, straight up. You also have this wonderful thing here, Call of the War, as orruk as you can get. Score this immediately if 3 or more of your fighters made a charge action this phase. If you have this in your hand in the opening round of a game as Ironskull's boys, you will get 1 glory point unless you have made a mistake. It's brutal. Now, here we have as well 2 glory points from Good Scrap and Punch Up. Another two examples actually of how you can get simple, easy glory points, and glory points win you games by just fighting people. So Good Scrap, score this in an end phase if 3 or more fighters were taken out of action. Now this includes your own. That's why I was saying you do not need to necessarily win a fight, you just need to get your boys in there and take hits. Because yes, you'll be able to deal more damage, which will help you do this as well, and obviously you don't want your people to die, but if they do, it doesn't matter, you'll still get glory points for it, you know? And then Punch Up, score this in end phase if each of your surviving fighters, at least 2, made an attack action against a different enemy fighter. So get into fights and hit multiple people, you get glory points. And, you know, they're simple, easy glory points. And you'll see that with these simple ones, yeah, there are only 1s and 2s here and there, but they add up and they are simple, easy for just throwing your men into fights. Next, we have the power cards. So again, I'm not going to go through them all, but these power cards are all about giving you more of an advantage in the fight. One of the ones that's just super useful, you'll notice here, is Last Lunge. So before you have that objective where Good Scrap, I think it is, where if 3 people go down, you get 2 glory points. But Last Lunge means that if one of your people goes down, you get to roll an attack dice. On a roll of a hammer or a crit, you get to make an attack action against the person who killed you. So you could potentially, even when losing someone, take out the enemy person who's killed them at the same time, or at least damage them enough so that one of your boys can go in and finish the job. Fight, die, but still take someone out at the same time. Very useful. More chopping. Roll an extra attack dice. Gives you an extra chance to hit, which, if you remember, Hacker and Basher, they only have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting. This gives you extra chances to hit. And, of course, other things like Gorkamorka's Blessing, where you get +1 damage with the first attack action in the next activation. Or Having a Good Time, where you can choose a fighter, roll an attack dice, and make an extra attack action. Get into fights, hit shit. This is the orruk way. And finally, the Upgrades tab. So, here you have specialized things for getting the best out of your boys. And you can see some of them are restricted to individual characters. There are a lot here for Hacker and Basher that make them a little bit more potent when it comes to fighting. So, for example, when this fighter suffers damage, reduce that damage to a minimum of 1, which Hacker and Basher, if they can't deal out damage, having them have the ability to just pin down enemy fighters, whilst people like Gurzag and Bonecutter can come in from the sides and actually finish the job, makes them a hell of a lot more useful. Brutal Frenzy, roll an extra attack dice when the fighter makes a charge action, again giving them more of a chance to hit. But some of the best in here are things like Crush and Cleave, that give Gurzag or Bonecutter, whichever one you choose, the ability to cleave. Now, Hacker already has Cleave if he rolls crits, and Cleave means that you go through enemy armor. Defense dice do not count. Of course, Hacker only does 1 damage, 2 if he's inspired, but Gurzag does 3 and Bonecutter does 2. So if these guys have, especially if Bone Cutter's inspired, that's 3 and 3. If either of these have a cleave option, people really can't defend against it. Brutal swing as well for Bone Cutter, just incredible. This gives him an extra attack. Now, if Bone Cutter is surrounded, he does a swing that hits everyone around him. You get an attack against every single person, which, especially if you're fighting the Sepulchral Guard, let's say you get surrounded by petitioners, you have the ability to take out all the petitioners in one attack, because obviously damage 2, each petitioner has 2 wounds, they can all be down in one go. And the final 2 I'm going to show off here are Headbutt. Headbutt for Gurzag is effectively a stun action. If you are out activating the enemy and Gurzag has Headbutt, he can rush up to an enemy that he doesn't particularly like and you do not wish to move for the rest of that round, run up there, thump them in the skull, that stuns them. They cannot be activated for the rest of the phase. Super useful for stopping some really potent enemies, like for example, Steelheart himself from the Stormcast Eternals, Steelheart's champions. You can just stop him dead in his tracks. So useful. And the final one, Unkillable. Now, you want your boys to get into fights. You want Gurzag especially to get into fights. Gurzag's going to take hits. If you have Unkillable, he has a chance to not die. It gives you a chance to roll a dice, and if you roll a shield or you roll a crit, he suffers no damage and is not taken out of action. That keeps your boss in the fight. Super good. And finally, War. I know I said finally before for Unkillable, but War is the orruk thing, so I think it deserves a special mention. This fighter's attack action with a range of 1 or 2 have +1 damage in a phase where they make a charge action. Orruks like to charge, +1 damage. Let's say you give that to Gurzag, that gives him 4 damage. 4 damage means that he can take out anyone in this game apart from himself if you're having a mirror game. It's incredible. Brutal damage. Right, so let's get into a fight and show you how this works. Okay, so I have set up a match here. Maegor's Fiends against Ironskull's Boyz. Maegor is played by a bot, just for the sake of showing off what these 2 warbands can do, and to show off what I mean by Ironskull's Boyz being a hyper-aggressive warband. Of course, up against Maegor, we are matching a very similarly aggressive warband. The difference being, Maegor inspires through hitting opposition, we inspire through getting hit. Now, first thing we're going to do is have a look at our decks down here. This being our objective deck, this being our power deck. And here we have our objectives, and these will each, if we achieve the aim of each of these, we will score glory. And the first one we have is biggest and the best. So we can score this in an end phase if Gurzag Ironskull takes out an enemy fighter. He already hits for 3. This is highly likely, and we are guaranteed 1 glory. Too dumb to die. If we suffer 3 or more damage but are not taken out of action, we score 1 glory at any stage during the fight. Now, Maegor's Fiends do like to do damage. There is a chance we could get this. It's slim but possible. And then Annihilation, where if we have killed all of them, we get 5. Now, that's a very hard thing to do, but against 2 very aggressive warbands, there's a higher chance of hitting this. And 5 glory is almost game-winningly high. So yeah, liking that. Now, in the power hand, we have Crush and Cleave, and upgrade for Gurzag or Bone Cutter. We can only choose one to play it on, and we need to have glory to play it, but it gives that fighter the cleave action, and cleave means that even if they roll defensive dice that would normally save them from the hit, we cut through it, provided we have already rolled a hit. Very, very useful. Pillage, less useful in this type of matchup, but it does give you a level of board control. Great strength is +1 damage, so were we to get some glory and play this on Gurzag, he is almost guaranteed to get this biggest and the best, because 1 hit he will take down any of their fighters. Great Fortitude gives us 1 extra wound. Again, we need glory to play it, but as our people inspire through taking hits, giving them extra wounds means that they can survive those hits for longer. And of course, Last Lunge. So if one of our boys is taken out of action, they have 1 chance to get revenge. Very useful indeed. I am liking this. Right, so I'm going to keep these. And now we roll off to see who gets to place their people first. And he has thrown Magor there. I think we shall enjoy this by throwing Gurzag straight up there too. He's played Jarkus, but that's fine because we're going to play Bonecutter. There goes Gartok. Let's throw Hacker in with Bonecutter. Oh, he's got Riptooth there, and let's throw Basher in with Gurzag. Round 1. Fantastic. Let's roll off. Oh, he is very much choosing who goes first. Now, if he's very friendly, he will let me go first. He is going to. Well, let's see if this is foolish for him or not. Righty-ho. So, we're going to have a fight here. Riptooth has to move around this block of crap, which is quite nice. He is quite a dangerous chap. I think we shall open it up with the leaders facing off against each other. Charge in, Gurzag. Gurzag scores 2 hits, but of course... Oh, no, Magor gets nothing. We're going to thump him straight up for 3 damage. Unfortunately, it does not allow us to inspire. He's playing Sidestep to move Riptooth closer to the action. That's not bad, actually. Riptooth was placed in a very strange position. Magor's going to swing back. He's got a crit, which means I needed to roll a crit to defend. I don't. Under normal circumstances, that would have defended, but in this, it will not. However, he has now inspired me and inspired himself. He's going to throw a healing pot down on Magor, which is absolutely fine. He only gets 1 back, so not the end of the world for me. And now it's my turn. So, let's see what I'm going to do next. Now, what shall I do? Bonecutter, you hit like a truck. Who can you charge? You can charge Jarkus. Let's get in there. Ooh, swing and a miss. Disappointing, Bonecutter. Disappointing. Jarkus will now return the favour, but he also swings, and we get a crit defense, so it's a miss from both of us. How disappointing. However, we can remove that objective, because we're standing on it. We may as well. I certainly don't have anything that'll give me glory for standing on it. I don't think he does too. Jarkus swings back. That's a double hit. We save 1, but we're still gonna take some damage. That's fine though, because this means he is now inspired, and he now does 3 damage. Jarkus, of course, is also inspired. However, it is time for Basher to get involved, and Basher's gonna go for Magor. That's a critical hit there. He only has a single defense. This shouldn't save him. And it gives us knockback as well under normal situations with a crit. However, he has nowhere to go. However, it does mean that Magor is down to 1. Magor has swung, and we have crit defense. Swing and a miss by Magor. And my activation, Hacker. Hacker, unfortunately, is too far away to help in any of the fighting, so he is going to rush forward. And hold. Swing and a hit. Come on, Basher. No, unfortunate. Basher is going to take some damage. But again, ooh, that's some serious damage as well. However, we have just scored glory because that is too dumb to die. Magor inspired does 3 damage. And now we have an inspired basher. Ooh. I think we shall play this and give it to our man Gurzag. So Gurzag now does 4 damage when he hits. There we go. Now, unfortunately, we did not get... Oh, that's a new one, Conquest. But we did not get any of our other objectives hit. However, we have 1 glory point. That's not bad. And let's see if Magor scored any. Now, do I wish to discard any of these? I think I'm going to discard Annihilation. We haven't done enough damage in this turn to really stand a chance. So yeah, we discard that. We'll keep the other 2. Conquest is eminently achievable. All of our fighters will be able to cross that thin line here into their territory. I cannot play any of those, so I shall keep hold of them. I don't wish to discard any. I quite like those. I would like a healing pot. We have a healing pot. He has hold objective 5, so we are even on glory. He's playing some cards. Now, I would like the dice gods to bless me, because if we go first, we could do some real damage here. If he goes first, he could. We've got it. The dice gods were on our side. That's a double crit. So we get to select who goes first, and of course it's going to be us. Now, first thing we're going to do is get in there. We have a hit. Will it be enough? Oh, of course we're inspired, so we can re-roll. We have 2 hits. There we go. This will be Magor. That is Magor out for the count. We have scored glory, and we will get biggest and the best later as well. Brilliant. Brilliant. Now we get a chance to play a card. I am going to play this healing pot, and I'm going to play it on Basher. Unfortunately, he's only going to get 1 back because we didn't roll a shield or a crit. However, 1 is better than none. We're going to play Great Fortitude, because Great Fortitude will bring more wounds, and I think we are going to bring more wounds to Bonecutter. And he's playing some of his cards, and now it is his go, because I have no other cards I can play. Riptooth is coming for Basher. Riptooth hits like a truck. Riptooth will hit me unless... the dice gods have saved us. Well done, Basher. Of course, he is knocked back because of that, but better to be knocked back and survive to bash another day than have Basher out on the ground. Right, my activation. Now, I am thinking Bonecutter has a score to settle with Jarkus. He swung and missed last time. Inspired Bonecutter will do 3 damage with a hit. It's gonna hit. It hits for 3, and Jarkus will be moved over here, where Hacker can charge him later. Oh, Jarkus isn't going to go for Hacker. Jarkus is going to come for Basher. Oh, he's got a double crit. Basher is in trouble here. Basher is in trouble here. Basher takes that hit. He's going to have to play last lunge because this is him out of action. With any luck, we are going to roll to hit and kill Jarkus at the same time. Yup. Let's do this. Come on, Basher. In your death throes. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's a hit. He's going to do it. Bosh. There we go, more glory for us. We may have lost Basher, but Basher's death was not in vain. That is Gurzag, and I am feeling slightly foolish for getting rid of the Annihilation, because it's looking a little bit more likely now. I was not expecting that. Right, I have no cards to play, so... see what happens. My activation. Hacker, you uninspired lump. I say Riptooth. Go for Riptooth. Riptooth is in our land. We swung and missed because normally this would hit, but unfortunately Hacker hits on sword, so we've swung and missed. It's not the end of the world. We shall play Crush and Cleave, and we shall play that with Gurzag, because Gurzag hits for 4, and now he has Cleave. He could kill Gartok instantly. Oh, Gartok has a crit. That's unfortunate. We're going to take some damage. We are going to take some damage. How much though? 2. Ooh, that's tasty, that. That's tasty. He's got +1 damage as well. You want to push him? I'm fine with that. Fine with that. Any more cards for you to play? Nope. My activation. There seems to be nothing I can do because, as you can see by this symbol, my people have charged or moved. So, I think we shall draw new cards. Useful, useful. Right. He is doing the same, drawing cards. We have run out of people to move. And we check objectives. So we have scored biggest and the best because our leader has killed someone. Excellent. But we have nothing else. And unfortunately, we will not hit objective of denial if Riptooth stays where he is. I think we're going to lose that because it's not going to work for us. This one we could still potentially do. I just rush Hacker away to hit Gartok. To play, yeah, I think we're going to play Hardhead, and we're going to play that on Hacker because that's going to reduce the damage he takes, which is very, very useful. There we go. No, we shall keep that one. Hold objective 3, no use to me. Good scrap. We're not going to get that, unfortunately. He's drawing. We are in the lead by 1 glory point. It is a tight, tight game. Let's see who gets to go first. We have been good with dice so far. Let's see if we can keep it up. We cannot. He has it. He has it. Yeah, unsurprisingly, he's going to go first, and if he has any sense, he's going to gang up on... Oh, no, he's not. He's not. Oh, Bone Cutter could be down because he hits like a truck right now. Yeah, that's it. That's Bone Cutter out. Oh, brutal. That's a real shame. However, better Bone Cutter than Gurzag. He can throw wounds on that. That's fine. We shall play this. +1 damage to the first attack action. -2 move. That's okay, I can live with that. My attack action. We shall charge, and we shall charge Gartok. He may have -2 move, but I only need to move 1 for this charge action. We have a hit, but we get a chance to reroll because we are inspired. We have 2 hits. We have Cleave, so Gartok is out for the count. Not quite sure what happened there. We rolled a defense dice though. I don't know why Gartok had to move to do that action, but Gartok is dead. Endgame for Gartok. Gurzag with all of these stats, even with 1 wound, will be brutal. Now, we have a chance to play something here, and I will play it. It is Unkillable, which means that even if Gurzag takes a hit, he may not die. How useful is that? But it doesn't seem to matter. Riptooth is stuck on Hacker, but he rolls swords as well, so he doesn't look like he's going to hit. Hacker just shrugs it off. Ooh. So, my activation. Hacker. It's a shame you haven't been inspired, but see if you can just hit this chap. We have a crit. He has a crit. That's a shame. Because Hacker, when he crits, he gets cleave. So he would have done damage. Under all circumstances, save him rolling a crit in defense. That's a shame. He's going to charge again. He's going to crit. And he's going to hit. We're going to take a smacking here. But we played that card before that reduced damage. Hacker still has 3 wounds. He is now inspired. And it's his activation. Because he hasn't charged, guess what Hacker gets to do now? Attack again. But he does nothing with it. Does nothing with it. That's a shame. Hacker, you disappoint me. That's really disappointing. He's playing cards, but it's alright. It's alright. Hacker, try again. Come on. It's almost over. Try again. We have a crit. It's going to be a cleave. It's a cleave. So, despite his rolling a dodge, we still hit cleave, and we can push Riptooth back. Oh, we're on 5-all. But we got good scrap because 3 or more fighters were taken out in the end phase. Had I been paying attention, I could have also moved Hacker instead of charged, and we would have got the conquest too. But it doesn't matter. 7-5. 7-5. 2 of ours down, 3 of theirs. That was bloody. That was very bloody. But a good example of how stacking up and just going in there front smacking people will win you glory and will win you games. Not the prettiest fight, I have to say, but you saw how potent Gurzag was by the end. And it's a shame we never got that stage with Bonecutter. He was taken out of action early, but again, you can do a similar thing with him too. However, I hope you've enjoyed this, ladies and gentlemen. If you have, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Always feedback, comments, everything else, super helpful, super useful. I do reply to everything people send me. And yes, I will see you next time for a different Warband Focus. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.